Internet, Eric here. I got a Have you ever seen today? If you don't know what that is, have you ever seen is where I try to shine the spotlight on a movie where it feels like I'm the only one that's ever seen it, or if if others have seen it, maybe a handful of people that I personally know have seen it, and even less talk about it. I've talked about Rumpelstiltskin and Ruben and Ed and a handful of others. Today, I'm going to talk about Highway to Hell. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes, all that jazz. This came out, at least according to the Blu-ray, 91. I think either IMDb or Wikipedia, one of those says 92. Fuck it, I'm going to say 1991. Um, the plot of this is we're following Chad Lowe. He is the younger brother of Rob Lowe, you can definitely see. And Kristy Swanson, two lovebirds, are going to elope to Vegas, and they come up across this gas station that is run by Richard Farnsworth, who is, I know him only as the sheriff from Misery. It basically says, he does the whole spiel, don't, whatever you do when you get to this part, of the road, turn this way, don't go that way. And of course, they don't listen to him because seems like a crazy old man at a gas station, and they go the wrong way, and they meet up with the Hell Cop, who kidnaps Kristy Swanson, takes her back to Hell, and Chad Lowe has to rescue her. That's it. Wow. This is a lot of fun. It's a weird fucking movie, and you would understand that because it's directed by, I'm going to probably butcher his name, Atajong. He's the same guy that directed Drop Dead Fred, which pretty much everyone in my generation has heard of. Anyway, let's get to this movie. It is chock full of weird visuals, great visuals, lots of weird shit. First off, Chad Lowe, his character is very likable as the hero of this movie. You buy him and Kristy Swanson's love. You buy him trying to be the tough guy as much as you can. He does a pretty decent job. Um, yeah, he's very likable. I mean, nothing to cry home about, but nothing bad. So he's decent. Kristy Swanson's there just to look pretty, to be honest. She's got, like I said, she's got good chemistry with Chad Lowe, but she's not in the movie too much other than being the damsel in distress. But when she's on screen, she's more than just something to look at. She's really likable. She's really good, but hardly in the film. The other person of note, well, Richard Farnsworth, he's good. He's fine. He's in the movie for 10 minutes as the old man who warns them and then gives a backstory and blah blah blah. He's fine. The only other character of note, well, there's Patrick Bergin, who is a mechanic that Chad Lowe meets in Hell, and he's got this little boy with him, and it's just whole side story that I'm not gonna get into because either you're gonna like it, you're gonna hate it, and you're gonna figure it out like that. So, but Patrick Bergin does what he does, and he does it well. And the only other character of note is the Hell Cop, who is played by C.J. Graham, who, if you're a horror fan, you know the name because he played Jason in Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. And what is he doing in this? He's basically playing Jason, a silent killer type of thing. But that's it. So acting is decent to fun, whatever. I mentioned the visuals. First off is the visuals of the Hell Cop. He basically he's got words and different things carved into his skin. He's got the cool glasses. Looks like a cop. Very intimidating, probably due to C.J. Graham's size. I mentioned the visuals. Visuals. What's also great is you got to pay attention to this movie because it's little things like that. Like he's got Kristy Swanson in handcuffs. They're literally hands cuffed together that he puts over like on her wrist, and the hands just literally cover her like that. There's just some scenes where Chad Lowe is going down the river Styx and he meets Kevin Peter Hall. I guess this was Kevin Peter Hall's last film. And he is the ferryman, literally with his eyes sewn shut and the strings are just hanging off of his face. Really creepy looking. He fights or he has to sneak past. I think is it a Cerberus, three-headed dog, the guardian of hell. Um, that's when the film kind of shows it's like $2.50 budget, but it's still a cool visual. Um, yeah, it's just a lot of fun, a lot of creativity, a lot of blood and gore. We get some some shootings. There's some gore because there's a scene where a lot of the victims of hell are on like a conveyor belt and they're literally jumping down a chute and they're getting shot out of like a meat grinder or stuff like that. Just the creativity in this movie. There's a scene where the hell cop wants to take a break and he goes to like a greasy spoon diner and he brings Kristy Swanson in, and the cook is played by Ben Stiller, and this is like 1991 Ben Stiller, so it's still like really kind of crazy Ben Stiller. He's the cook outside. He's cooking the ribs and the eggs on the sidewalk because it's so fucking hot, and he's just grumpy and mean. And he goes in, and then he orders a cup of coffee, which is delivered to him by Ben Stiller's mom, and that actress is, she's always with Jerry Stiller, and she is Anne Maria, however you pronounce it. So, and she's fun, being the smart ass. And what's funny is, I said she's always with Jerry Stiller. Jerry Stiller plays a cop in the diner as well, and he's flirting with her, and he comes off just annoying as hell. But that's the point, because Jerry Stiller usually is. And what I mean is the visuals in there is like all the cops that are at the diner, they're either skeletal, they're covered in cobwebs, you can tell they've been tortured while being in hell. So, like I said, very, very creative in the visuals. There's some just weird scenes just for the hell of being scenes. There's a scene where Chadlow's trying to find his way into Hell City, and he sees a hitchhiker, and the hitchhiker is Lita Ford. And it's 1991 Lita Ford. So it's like, oh my god, Lita Ford. And she's there just to be fucking sexy. She jumps in, like he's got his passenger window down. She jumps in, like, over the door. And he says, do you know how to get to hell? And she says, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Just the way Lita Ford would, with the cleavage hanging out and everything. And he's like, yeah, I'll take you with. And she's like, sure, can you take my husband or my boyfriend or something? And that's where it gets really weird, because just for the hell of it, there's a scene where her husband or whatever is this ice cream man who's totally insane. He's trying to kill Chad Lowe, jumps on the top of the car, and the car is just driving through the desert as Chad's trying to get rid of him. And he says something like, I'm going to scoop your brains. And like he literally has like an ice cream scoop. I think it dings. And then Chad takes care of him, like shoots him in the face. And again, that's where they show the cheap budget, because they don't even try for a good effect. It's literally a hole blown through some plaster, and it looks like shit. But it's one of those, wow, when did I just see type of scenes. But yeah, it earns its R rating with the gore, with the sex, because Chad Lowe goes through a Vegas type casino in hell, and you got male strippers and female strippers, and everything's hanging out. And so yeah, it does definitely earn its R rating. We even get some nudity in a scene with a demon, and it's a female demon. I'll leave it at that. And after that demon is defeated, it's once again showing its really cheap budget. So, but I absolutely love this movie. I have a lot of fucking fun with it. Just like I said, based on the creativity alone, the acting is pretty decent. I like the look of the Hellcop. He's got a gun where if he shoots you, you don't explode. Like he shoots Jerry Stiller, and Jerry Stiller kind of just evaporates. Like there's this big smoke screen that encircles him, and he just kind of disappears. But that's really cool. It's like I mentioned, Ben Stiller. His whole family's in this movie, because not just his dad and mom in the diner scene. Ben Stiller comes back where he plays Attila the Hun, and his sister Amy is Cleopatra, and they're all sitting at a table, and who they're sitting with is Hitler, played by Gilbert Gottfried. And literally, it's just Gilbert Gottfried dressed as a Nazi with the stash, and he's just yelling, I'm Hitler! Just like Gilbert Gottfried would. So it's just this weird hodgepodge of different ideas thrown in a blender. It hits whirl, and out comes Highway to Hell, which, like I said, if you can handle a cheap fucking movie, you can have a lot of fun with. The Patrick Bergin story, which I'm not going to get into, is kind of lame with the kid and all that shit. The ending is kind of bittersweet, because Chad and Kristy Swanson get away. You find out a little bit of a sad story with Richard Farnsworth. He's still alive, but it's just one of those, it's really sad, which makes a lot of sense because Atajong, he did Drop Dead Fred, and that kind of ends bittersweet, with Phoebe Cates and Fred. So it works well. It's just one of those that sucks type of scenes. Um, Overall, like I said, a lot of fun, goofy, weird, visually stunning at times, visually creative, cheap as fuck, but great ideas, likable characters for the most part. Gilbert Gottfried is Hitler. What else do you fucking want? Um, Highly recommend Highway to Hell. If your taste in movies is anything like mine, where I like some of the weirdest shit in the world, I really think you would like Highway to Hell. Highly recommend it. Um, don't know what else to say about it. Kevin Peter Hall's last film, he was the Predator. Anything else? Yes? No? Oh, um, there is another character who's like the leader of a biker gang. He sucks. He's in it for a reason, but he's hardly in it. But when he is in it, he just sucks. And then his character goes nowhere when it ends, so he was kind of a waste. So, but he was just, I think, thrown in for something to do with the Richard Farnsworth character, which I won't get into. Um, but yeah, in the end, other than that, highly recommend Highway to Hell. Give it a shot. Um, I'm glad it came out on Blue. This only has an interview and a commentary, which I haven't listened to, but I'm definitely going to listen to the commentary. But yeah, love everything about this movie, other than the Patrick Burton stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, all that crap. Please comment below. Tell me if you've seen this fucking movie. And tell me if you've seen it and you like it. Because some of the people that have seen it think it's the stupidest thing they've ever seen. Um, yes, it's pretty fucking stupid, but I really enjoy it. I want to know who else enjoys this film. Um, like and subscribe, all that crap. Thank you for all the new subscribers. The contest is still going until the 13th. Go check out that video for all the rules and all that jazz. Thank you for all the positive comments about the podcast, both Schlocky Horror Podcast Show and Two Bearded Losers. It's a lot of fun doing them. So yeah, in the end, once again, totally recommend Highway to Hell. Cheers, and I'm Hitler.